The reach of the woke agenda is unbelievable. It's amazing when you think about it. These people have done a good job pushing their agenda. When I was growing up, video games were for kids. I don't judge adults who play video games. Hell, I wish I had the time to play them, but I don't. Even though many adults do play video games, the marketing is still geared towards children, for the most part anyway. These people are coming for kids from all angles. They are trying to teach critical race theory in elementary schools. There's nothing wrong with critical race theory. There's a key word in this phrase: theory. It is a theory. It's meant to be taught in postgraduate courses in law school. Again, critical race theory. It's not a fact, nor is it based on fact. If you're interested in it, go read about it. I'm not going to bore you with the details here. They are trying to push the transgender movement in schools too. Some school districts are pushing teachers to call children by their preferred pronouns. It's absolutely ridiculous. Elementary school kids, they don't know what the hell a pronoun is, much less which pronoun they want to be called. I pick up my 4-year-old nephew from school a few days every week. If I pick him up this afternoon and ask him, hey, what do you want me to call you? Today, he might want to be called Chase, the police dog on Paw Patrol. Tomorrow, he might want me to call him Marshall, another character from that cartoon. Next week, he might want me to call him Cedric, the dude that drives the garbage truck in my neighborhood. My point is, it changes every day. He's 4. He doesn't know what the hell he wants to be called. For the last year or two, they've also been using video games to get their disease into the minds of children. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played a game in the NFL since 2016. He is not a legend. He will never be a Hall of Famer. Well, let me pull that back real quick. He should never be a Hall of Famer. But they might put him in there to send a nice virtue signal. He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. You look at his career, it's not impressive. He had one good season, not great, good. That was back in 2013 when he led the Niners to the Super Bowl on the back of an elite defense and Frank Gore in the backfield. Colin Kaepernick is 28-30 as a starting quarterback in the NFL, sub 500 record. Completed less than 60% of his passes. His final season in 2016, he was god-awful. The Niners were bad as a whole that year, but elite quarterbacks, they don't go 1-10. Drew Brees played with historically bad defenses for 3 years from 2014 to 2016. Somehow, he still managed to win 7 games every year. That's what elite quarterbacks do. They overcome adversity. The Madden series with EA Sports, they have always included legendary quarterbacks in the game. You have your 32 starting quarterbacks, of course, but legends have always been included. When I played back in the 90s, early 2000s, they used to call them all Madden players. I don't know what the hell they're called now. The quarterbacks that I'm talking about would be guys like Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, Terry Bradshaw, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Warren Moon, Kurt Warner. I'm talking about legendary players. EA Sports didn't include the Mark Rippons, the Billy Joe Tollivers, Trent Dilfer, Donovan McNabb. Those are mediocre quarterbacks. Decent NFL careers, besides Billy Joe Tolliver. Hell, Mark Rippon and Trent Dilfer, they won Super Bowls. They're still not looked at as legends. So with Colin Kaepernick being out of the NFL for 5 years, why the hell would EA Sports continue to put them in their Madden series? It's a virtue signal, of course. It's a move to appease the agenda. Not only do they include Colin Kaepernick in the game, they rate him higher than active quarterbacks. In Madden 21, Colin Kaepernick had a higher rating than Ryan Tannehill, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, 10 other active quarterbacks. How can a career-losing quarterback have a higher rating than Ryan Tannehill, who had just led the Titans to the AFC Championship game? I don't understand how he could have a higher rating than any of the active quarterbacks on that list. Even a guy like Cam Newton, whose career is dying a slow, painful death. Cam Newton is god awful. Once he aged, lost his speed, he became a zero-dimensional quarterback, literally. He doesn't excel at anything. I would still take Cam Newton over Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't played in 5 years. For the new edition of Madden coming out, Madden 22, EA Sports, they decided to tamper down a bit on the ass-kissing. Colin Kaepernick's only rated higher than 3 quarterbacks this year, but it still doesn't make any sense. According to EA Sports, Colin Kaepernick is better than Justin Herbert, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence. EA Sports was asked why they continue to include Colin Kaepernick in the game. Here was their response last September. Knowing that our EA Sports experience are platforms for players to create, we want to make Madden NFL a place that reflects Colin's position and talent, rates him as a starting quarterback, and empowers our fans to express their hopes for the future of football. A place that reflects Colin's position, empowers our fans to express their hope for the future of football. What hope would that be? Are they hoping that more athletes will pull a Gwen Berry and Raven Saunders, politically protest at events or NFL games to get your name in the headlines because you can't do it by excelling on the field? Colin Kaepernick started this trend of struggling athletes using political protest to build a personal platform for themselves. Now, to his credit, Colin Kaepernick, I think he believed in his cause. Now, some of these others, I'm looking at you, Gwen Berry, they don't believe in what they're protesting because they don't know what the hell they're protesting about. I have been trying for 3 months now to figure out Gwen Berry's cause. I can't figure it out. It wasn't enough for EA Sports to include Colin Kaepernick in the game. They had to shove the agenda in your face. When Colin Kaepernick scores a touchdown in Madden, which is a 100% increase from touchdowns he scores in real NFL games, EA Sports included a special celebration for him. He raises his fist in the air in solidarity with the BLM movement. Oh, it's just so special. I get a tingle just watching it. EA Sports put out a press release in last September. They wasted no time lying and propagandizing. The first sentence in the statement was 100% false. Colin Kaepernick is one of the top free agents in football and a starting caliber quarterback. I don't know how anyone could say that with a straight face. If Colin Kaepernick was one of the top free agents in the NFL, teams would be knocking down his door to sign him. Let me tell you something about the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks. NFL teams, they don't give a damn about your politics, whether you're conservative or woke. They don't care about your personal life. They don't care about your arrest record. They don't care what you did in college. They don't care if you have 10 kids by 10 different women. They don't care if you smoke weed, just pass the drug test. They don't care if you frequent strip clubs, pay prostitutes. They don't care. NFL teams care about one thing: winning. Finding an elite quarterback is the hardest position to fill in sports. Think about it. There are 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. How many of them are elite? How many Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson's, Patrick Mahomes? How many of those guys are littered throughout the league? There are 350 million people living in America. 5, 8, maybe 10 are elite NFL quarterbacks. They are hard to find. If Colin Kaepernick was a special player, the politics wouldn't matter. The baggage would not matter. Teams would put up with the noise. They would put up with it. If he could lead them to the playoffs, the truth is he can't do it. The Niners, they didn't part ways with Colin Kaepernick because he was kneeling for the national anthem. If he were 10-1 in 2016, he would have been back in 2017. They released him because he sucked. He went 1-10. Now, I think the woke politics did play a role in the rest of the league blackballing him, but We are past that point now. Colin Kaepernick had a tryout a couple of years ago. It was a fiasco. It was a publicity stunt. He has no interest in playing in the NFL anymore. He would rather be a political activist. Hell, he's making more money as a political activist. Nike pays him millions, no telling how much money EA Sports is paying him. There is absolutely no reason for Colin Kaepernick to be included in the Madden series. It would be like EA Sports including Matt Hasselbeck as a legend. He had a decent NFL career, made a Super Bowl. Wasn't anything spectacular. Hell, at least Matt Hasselbeck made 3 Pro Bowls. Colin Kaepernick never made the Pro Bowl. He was never an all-star in the NFL, yet EA Sports considers him a legend. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of EA Sports continuing to include Colin Kaepernick in the Madden series and him politically protesting as a celebration after touchdowns. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.